Every legend leaves a trace. Some linger in memory, others in things that were never meant to fall into human hands. In the Myths Belief Store, you'll find artifacts, talismans, and relics steeped in the darkness of ancient faiths. Enter if you dare to touch what is forgotten and terrifying. Link in the description. In the deep forests of the state of Maryland, where the fog hangs low over the ground and the trees creak as if whispering warnings, one of the most famous modern legends was born. A tale of a being no one has ever seen, yet everyone feels its presence. Of a witch who, according to the locals, never left and still watches those who venture too far into the woods. The legend of the Blair Witch presents her as a being whose nature escapes human understanding. In stories, she appears as a woman exiled from the town of Blair, accused of witchcraft and left at the mercy of the elements in the deep forest, where she was meant to die alone. Yet her death did not end the story. On the contrary, it became the beginning of something much darker. In some versions, it is said that her spirit bonded with the forest. In others, that some inhuman force used her suffering as a gateway into our world, which is why the Blair Witch has no single form. Sometimes she is a shadow slipping between the trees, sometimes a tall, unnaturally thin silhouette, sometimes a presence felt on the back of one's neck even though no one is there. Her power lies in the fact that she does not need to reveal herself. It is enough that people entering the forest begin to hear whispers, see symbols on the trees, lose their way, lose their sense of time, and eventually themselves. The Blair Witch is therefore more a force than a figure, an energy that lives in the forest, remembers wrongs, and does not allow anyone to leave without paying a price. Although the legend was born in Maryland, its structure resembles many older myths about women who, after an unjust death, return as vengeful spirits. In Eastern Europe, a similar role is played by the Strzyga, a woman who after death becomes a being hungry for revenge. In Scotland, there is the Beabansith, a beautiful yet deadly witch from the mountain forests who lures travelers and never lets them return. In Japan, there is the Onryo, the spirit of a woman who died in torment and returns to haunt those who trespass on her territory. In South America appears La Llorona, a woman whose suffering after death turned her into a being wandering along rivers. In West Africa, there are stories of mother spirits who after death guard the forests and punish anyone who disturbs their peace. All these figures share the motif of a wrong that does not die with the body, and of a forest or place that becomes their domain. The Blair Witch fits into this tradition as a spirit who not only guards her territory, but also manipulates human perception, making the forest a labyrinth with no exit, and every step leads deeper into her dark presence. In pop culture, the Blair Witch has become a symbol of suggestion-based horror. Her greatest fame came from the film The Blair Witch Project from 1999, which through its found footage format made viewers believe they were watching real recordings of missing students. This film revolutionized the genre, showing that a monster does not need to be shown to evoke fear. Later productions such as Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2, or the 2016 reboot expanded the mythology of the forest and the witch herself. In video games, this motif appears in the title Blair Witch by Bloober Team, where the forest lives its own life and the player experiences distortions of time, space, and memory. Inspirations from the Blair Witch can also be seen in other works. In films such as The Vivitch, where the forest becomes the domain of an unnamed force, in found footage series that use the motif of lost recordings, in creepypastas and internet legends that repeat the pattern of an invisible, elusive entity. Pop culture embraced this archetype because it allows fear to be built not on the monster, but on what cannot be seen, on silence, on darkness, on the feeling that someone is watching even when no one is in sight. The Blair Witch thus became not only a legend, but also a narrative tool showing that the greatest horror is born in the imagination. The legend of the Blair Witch is a story about fear born from ignorance, about a force that does not need a face to terrify, and about how easily an ordinary story can turn into a myth if only people begin to believe in it. And now, questions for you. Do you think the Blair Witch is a real legend or a modern myth created by pop culture? What is more frightening, a monster we see or one that is never shown? Can forests truly remember the wrongs of people? Let us know in the comments what you think. If you enjoy such dark stories, leave a like, a sub, and click the bell so you don't miss the next episodes.